Awesome. Well, thank you everyone for joining us today for our Microsoft NCE Town Hall. My name is Natalie Bertolato, and I will be the host and facilitator of today's session. So let's jump right into our agenda for the day. Oops, went a little too far there. So we're going to start off with guest introductions to our Microsoft consultants that we're extremely lucky to have with us today. And then we'll go over the Microsoft policy changes, just do a high-level overview. Then we'll go straight into the question and answer portion of today's session. And thank you to everyone who sent your questions in ahead of time. For those of you that are joining us, if you have any additional questions, feel free to put them in the chat and we'll make sure to address them. And then we'll wrap things up and we'll call it a day. So let's go ahead and go straight into introductions. So we're lucky enough today to have Josh and Scott with us, and I'll let them introduce themselves. But guys, if you also want to mention how long you've been in the industry for, I think that'll be helpful for our guests. But Josh, we'll kick off introductions with you.
Cool. Sounds good. Nice meeting everyone. My name is Josh. I've been working with Pax8 for almost 3 years now, dealing with the Microsoft space in general for probably about 4 years now. So definitely been around for a while. But yeah, basically I'm over here helping partners get a better idea of anything Microsoft related.
Yep. And I'm Scott Nielsen. I've been working with Josh for about a year and a half, and I'm the main go-between between Exceptional and our organization. So happy to be here, happy to help answer any questions you might have, and looking forward to it.
Awesome. Thank you guys. We're excited to have you join us today. Okay, so the first policy change we're going to be discussing today is monthly versus annual license subscriptions. And we'll take this bullet point by bullet point and compare monthly versus annual. But the first change that Microsoft is implementing to their monthly license subscriptions is a 20% premium charge. So what does that mean? Well, if you were previously paying $10 for a monthly license, due to the 20% premium charge, you would now be paying $12 a month per license. Whereas if you have an annual subscription, that 20% premium charge will not apply. You essentially lock in your price for a full year. Josh, Scott, anything to add to that?
Right. And that monthly charge is going to be on top of the 15% price increase as well. So just want to make sure that's aware. But basically with the annual licenses, you will be able to lock in that price for the full year. You can always add licenses, but you will not be able to downgrade up until the next renewal time comes up in the following year.
Yes. Yep, and that actually is a great segue into our next bullet point there. So as Josh just mentioned, with an annual subscription, you can't downgrade your license until the end of the 12-month commitment period, whereas versus a monthly license, you can downgrade, but it's a little bit sooner since it's a monthly license, so you just have to wait until the end of the month.
Right.
Awesome. Well, that's pretty straightforward. We'll move on to the next slide, which I think Josh just touched on a little bit earlier. These 6 SKUs that you see here will have a base price increase of March 1st. So we went ahead and listed the current price and then what the new price is. But keep in mind, for this new price, if you're doing a monthly license, you still have to add in that 20% premium. And I mean, Josh and Scott can confirm this, but as of right now, so as of February 10th, 2022, these are the only 6 SKUs that are experiencing a base price increase. So who knows where we'll be at 6 months down the line if Microsoft is going to decide to increase the base price of their other licenses as well.
Right. Yep.
And the thing to keep in mind too is, right, this base price is going to be March 1st, and then that 20% premium for monthly SKUs, that is going to go into effect in July.
Okay. Now that 20% premium, does that also apply to add-ons?
Correct.
Yes.
Okay. So yeah, so I think the biggest takeaway we want our clients to know here is really take a step back and look at your current subscriptions. Do you really need month-to-month licensing, or is it best to switch over to annual? So that's something you'll want to keep in mind uh, after today's session.
One thing to
Um,
consider as well is you guys can do a mix and match of annual licenses and monthly. So if you wanted to get 75% of your staff on annual terms, you could do so. And then if you needed some flexible time, let's say if you guys have contract workers or seasonal employees, you can put those employees on a monthly term so you don't have to pay for them for the full year.
Thank you. That's a very good point to mention, Josh. Okay, moving on to our next policy change, and the last one that we'll be talking about for today is Microsoft's 72-hour cancellation policy. So you will not be able to cancel license 72 hours after the purchase has been made, and this does include weekends. So it isn't pertaining to 72 business hours, but rather 72 regular hours.
And another thing to keep in mind for that 72-hour cancellation is if you cancel the first day, that's going to be a full refund, and then anything after that is going to be a partial.
Got it. Thank you, Scott.
Yep.
Okay, so let's tackle on those questions that our client submitted. So first question, is the 20% premium on monthly licenses applying to all Microsoft licenses? For example, I currently have Microsoft Exchange Online Plan 1 and Microsoft Visio Plan 2 licenses. Will these licenses be subjected to the 20% premium?
Yes, they will. Pretty much all licenses will be subjected to that 20% monthly premium now.
And as we mentioned earlier, add-ons are also subjected to that. Moving on to the next question. Other than being aware of a pricing difference, is there anything I, the customer, need to do, for example, through my global admin credentials on the back end?
Nope, there's not going to be anything on that end. It's really just on the purchasing and ordering side of things. Once those NCE versions of those licenses have been ordered, as long as they're the same license, they'll just automatically reassign to the users who are currently actively using those legacy licenses.
Awesome, thank you. Next question. If I currently have monthly licenses, can I switch them to annual to avoid paying the 20% premium?
Yes, definitely. That's what I'm recommending for most of our partners over here. Obviously 20% is a decent amount of money. So I mean, if you can switch to annual licenses, I definitely recommend that you do.
Yes. Okay, next question. Can I mix and match my subscription? For example, I have a business premium subscription with 10 licenses. Can I have 5 of the licenses be annual while the other 5 are monthly licenses?
Yep, that kind of goes on to what I said earlier, but yeah, you can mix and match to whatever makes sense for your business.
Awesome. Yeah, the biggest takeaway we want to have for our clients who are either joining us today or viewing this at a later date, because we are recording and we will be sharing this out, really take a step back and look at your licensing. Like Josh and Scott have explained here, if we need to get a little creative and do a mix and match, we could definitely do that. And Exceptional will be here to help you with those decisions. We'd be more than happy to help you save money because I personally would not want to have to be paying a 20% premium. Last question. What if I really don't like the changes Microsoft is making? Are there any alternatives to Microsoft that I can move to, like Google?
It's an option. As the guy who talks Microsoft all day, that's not going to be my go-to answer. But you can definitely move somewhere else. But I don't think you're going to get the same features that you're currently getting out of your Microsoft. Um, Microsoft has worked really hard to add all these additional features that you're just not really going to get anywhere else. But it is an option if that's something you wanted to do.
Yeah,
Yes.
and to add to that, right? Like Microsoft hasn't had a price increase like this in 8 years, right? And then the other part is their privacy principle. So they do not go into your inbox and read your emails, right? We can't say the same for other providers. right? Like Google, where, it's pretty well known that they can sell your data so you can get targeted with ads, right? Microsoft, as part of their privacy principle in their handbook, does not do that. So I would, strongly caution going elsewhere other than Microsoft.
Awesome. Thank you. Well, it doesn't look like anyone has provided any questions in the chat. But before we wrap up today, I do want to emphasize to all of our clients, here at Exceptional, we talk about providing an exceptional experience. So if you're still confused about any of these policy changes at all or have any concerns, please, please, please reach out to us. Reach out to your account manager. If for some reason you don't know who your account manager is, send us an email to sales@exceptional.com and we will help you. We don't care if you ask the same question in 4 different ways. We will be here to answer that question for you each and every time. We want to make sure that we're doing the best for you and for your business. So please don't hesitate to reach out. Okay, and so to wrap up, um, if you're okay with paying a 20% premium and you want to be able to cancel licenses at the end of the month for whatever reason, downgrade them, then you know what? Maybe a monthly license subscription is the best option for you. Whereas if you really want that price protection for 12 months because you're not okay with paying a 20% premium and your licensing doesn't really fluctuate throughout the year, then maybe an annual license is best for you. And also, please, please, please be aware of that 72-hour cancellation policy. We understand that mistakes happen at time, but it's important that you're communicating with us as soon as possible if a cancellation needs to occur so we can make sure that you don't get stuck with that license. Thank you, Josh and Scott, for being with us here today and answering our questions. We greatly appreciate it. To all of you who are joining us or who will be watching this at a later date, we hope that this will provide some clarity around the changes Microsoft is making. And if you have any additional questions, please, please, please do not hesitate to reach out to your account manager or send an email to sales@exceptional.com and we will help you solve the solution to your problems. Thank you for joining us today.
Thanks, guys.
Thank
Bye.
you. Have a good one.